Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Racing Podblast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aiken from Narrow in the Field. And we're back with a bit of track hopping again this week, covering two races from Doncaster on St Leger Saturday, as well as one race from the tight turns of Chester. And then we close out the show with our usual spin up to Scotland for our Football Trixie Battle, top, middle and bottom. But it's racing first, and we start with the Class 2 Portland Handicap from Doncaster, first of our three races under analysis this week. Good morning and welcome along, Ben. Can you start us off with that one?
Morning, Tony. Yep. The Portland, not an easy one to start things off with. I've got various levels of notes on a fair amount of the field. So I could pick through them yesterday evening, and I landed on a short list of Silky Wilkie, Holcomb Bay, Wadow and Aberama Gold. Silky Wilkie finished down the field in one of the sprints at Ebor meeting at York last time out, but he was drawn on the wrong side in his race and he had no chance from his draw. So easy to forgive Silky Wilkie that last effort. And the upside of the run was that he was dropped a handy £2 and 97 as a mark he should be competitive of, as he's placed from a mark as high as 107 previously. And he gets his prime conditions to attack here at Donny, a mark of 99 or less, a break of 28 days or less, January to September period, and a straight or right-handed track where he is 6 wins and 7 places from 20 starts. So Silky Wilkie looks interesting at big odds. Holcomb Bay ran in the same race as Silky Wilkie at York, and he was even more inconvenienced by his draw. He was drawn widest of all in stall 22. Very easy to put a line through his effort. He could well have more progression still to come, as he was 2 wins and 2 seconds coming into the York race, and I expect to see him capable of getting at least involved here in the Portland, possibly more than that. Wadow, he's having only his third run for the Jamie Osborne yard after moving from the Donica O'Brien yard over the winter. Not shown much in the 2 starts for Jamie Osborne, but he hasn't had his prime conditions on those 2 starts. I think he should be more at home in this race. At a listed level and below on flat or slightly undulating tracks, he's 2 wins and 3 places from 6 starts, including a close third in a listed race here at Doncaster over 6 furlongs as a 2-year-old. I think Wadow is another that could outrun his massive odds. And Aberama Gold, he's other on my short list. He's a horse with a strong form at Doncaster, especially off marks of 96 or less. He's 2 wins, 2 seconds and a third under those conditions. He does seem to really enjoy the track. He's currently £9 below his last running mark and £10 below the mark he ran close third from at Newmarket this April. So if Doncaster sparks him into a bit of life, then he's definitely handicapped to go well. Aberama Gold. I think it's also worth mentioning Bergerac. He's another that ran in that Silky Wilkie, Holcomb Bay York race, and he ran a mighty race from stall 19. 6 of the first 7 home in that were drawn in stall 8 or lower. So Bergerac finished in the 6th from stall 19. That warrants a big markup on the bare form. If it dries out to proper good ground all over, which it could, then Bergerac would have his absolute prime conditions to shoot for. As things stand, I'd be siding with Holcomb Bay in the hope there's still progression to come from him. And I'd also take a bit of a swing at Aberama Gold at a bit bigger prices. So Holcomb Bay and Aberama Gold for me in the Portland. Tony, what have you got?
Lovely. It was like a bit of a flashback to a badly drawn horse there, mate, for a couple of...
It was, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. What a service that was. Bring it back.
Maybe.
225 at Doncaster, American Affair I have here. Paul Mulrennan for Jim Goldie. Won at Carlisle in September last year before a solid effort in a 20-runner handicap at Ayr later in the month, finishing third of 20, beaten 2 1/4 lengths. The 4-year-old has improved £22 in the last 12 months, thanks to a number of solid and consistent efforts. Not out of the first 3, and not beaten more than 1.5 lengths in his last 4 starts in June. That includes a win at Thirsk back in June, in mid-June. He has a win in 4 place efforts from 5 starts in Class 2 contests, and 3 victories with Paul Mulrennan in the saddle, and a win in 4 places from 6 starts on good ground. He's around 10-1 at the minute, American Affair. And the other one is Cover Up. I'm doing a bit of homework on Godolphin after it had their double on the first day of the St Leger meeting. Godolphin, the last 3 years, have had plenty of success in the month of September with their handicappers. 22% strike rate in the 25 winners from 116 runners, a further 23 hitting the frame, 62-point profit. That is just on the bare form in the last 3 years in the month of September. And digging down a little bit, looking at those in the nursery company, together with 3 and 4-year-old handicappers, Newmarket and Doncaster at those courses. So you can look out in the month of September at Newmarket, but we're in Doncaster, 10 winners from 25 going to post, another 4 hitting the frame, 56% strike rate. Godolphin are represented by Cover Up, who's currently around 8-1, 17-2 for John and Thady Gosden. Kieran Schumark in the saddle. I believe Cover Up could well go well at 17, around 17-2 each way price, and American Affair for Jim Goldie at around 10-1. That is the Portland Handicap. Onto the 240, the Watergate Cup at Chester, Class 2 handicap over 2 miles, Ben.
Yeah, Chester. Just want to flick quickly back to that the Portland and your American Affair. Jim Goldie got good stats in Doncaster handicaps over 5 to 7 furlongs with his 4 to 7-year-olds, 33% strike rate. So that kind of would back up your American Affair.
Yeah, another positive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one there, right? Chester, though, and the Watergate Cup. Could be tough work, this one. Currently heavy, soft in place at Chester. Dry day forecast on Friday and Saturday, so could possibly dry out a touch by the time they go to post. Not an easy race to pick apart. Much digging from myself. I finally settled on a short list of Vera Verto, Sheridan, and Spirit Mixer. Spirit Mixer, impressive winner over course and distance last time out, and although he's £6 higher here, he's still below his highest winning mark, and he looks to have his prime conditions to shoot for again. Handicaps over 1 mile 4 to 2 miles, May to September, and a mark of 90 or less. He's 6 wins in 2 places from 10 starts under those conditions. The heavy, soft ground is the obvious query. His turf wins have all come on good or quicker, and he's never raced on anything slower than good to soft. Let's say the slow ground is an unknown, bordering on a possible negative, but if it does start to dry out, then that would help Spirit Mixer's chances. At Sheridan, a bit of an unknown quantity still. He ran a decent race in the Summer Cup at Glorious Goodwood, 7th of 13, beating only 1.6 lengths. That effort came in between 2 very poor efforts at Ascot, a 13th of 13 in July and then a 10th of 10 at the Shergar Cup meeting last time out. But it could simply have been Ascot he wasn't enjoying. If that is the case, then we could well see a better effort from Sheridan here. He was 3 from 3 on soft ground when racing in France, and this will be the first time he faces anything slower than good since racing over here. So a chance that ground with plenty of cut in it and away from Ascot allows him to show plenty more than what he has in his 3 starts so far for Ian Williams. And he's potentially interesting at big prices. He's 16-1 or bigger at present, Sheridan. And Vera Verto is the other on my shortlist. She's handicapped to be winning at present and looks to have her flat prime conditions here. Class 2 level or below, a mark of 90 or less and running off a break of 42 days or less, where she is 4 wins and 2 places from 11 starts. And her trainer, Gavin Cromwell, always warrants respect when he makes the trip over here. His record in flat and all-weather handicaps in the UK with horses off a break of 42 days or less reads 18 winners, 9 placed from 53 runners, 34% win strike rate, 51% win and place strike rate, over 79 points profit, and Vera Verto also has winning and place form on soft to heavy, and heavy ground. So plenty to like about the chances of Vera Verto. And Ververto is the one that catches my eye the most here. I'd also throw a dart at Sheridan at bigger prices as well. So Ververto and Sheridan for me in the Watergate Cup. Tony, what you got?
Yeah, love it. Two different ones from me as well. Ben, I've got, first of all, Zoffy. For Hugo Palmer and Harry Davis, that's around 14-1 now. It seems to be on the drift. 8-1 with Sky Bet and William Hill, but 14s at the minute with Bet365. They seem to be holding out there. Zoffy is a course winner and also has won over a similar trip. Was last seen at York at the Eber meeting in the Stairs Handicap, finishing 9th of 16, beating 6 3/4 lengths. It has won over a 2 mile half a furlong. Harry Davis rode Zoffy when he won here in May at the May meeting off a £2 low mark, and the 8-year-old will be happy to be back here and can give a good account at around 14-1. And the other one is another Ian Williams one here. Ben, I've gone for Aquam, who is a distance winner, been kept to the more or less since the turn of the year in January, February, March on the all-weather, and just made a fleeting appearance at the May meeting when he was last seen in the Duke of Westminster supporting the Chester Cup Class 2 contest over 18.5 furlongs, 2 mile, 2.5 furlongs, finishing 6th of 16, 2.5 lengths behind Zoffy at the May meeting off a similar mark. So he has won over this trip in the past, and I believe Aquam for Ian Williams. James Sullivan is in the saddle there. Both of mine are 14-1 at the moment currently, and you can get 5 places with Sky Bet, but Aquam and Zoffy for me at Chester tomorrow in the Watergate Cup. Onto the 4:15, the PJ Towey Construction Handicap Class 2 over 1 mile 2 furlongs. Ben, you better explain why we're not doing. Everybody's waiting for the St. Ledger, by the way, mate. Although I should think our listeners know us better than that.
Yeah, 7 runners, 3 of them from Aidan O'Brien, 3 at the head of the market. I'm not interested.
No,
I don't
no, me
you're
neither.
not interested.
No, not at all.
I quite like the St. Ledger as a race.
Yeah, wonderful.
But tomorrow, no, there's no point in covering it, I don't think.
No.
I don't have an opinion on it, to be honest. I will. I don't know about you, but I'll watch it, obviously, but I won't be betting it. So.
Yeah, no, I won't be playing there either, mate. I mean, the Champion Stakes at 225 at Leopardstown looks a lot more interesting.
Yeah, that's probably a bit more interesting.
But again, another race to watch with Augusta Rodin up against Los Angeles. I don't understand that. But I stopped trying to work Aidan O'Brien out years ago. So,
yeah, it's the thing is, I think we've talked before off and not on the pod, but we're not going to moan about it. It's if Aidan O'Brien, there's plenty of other races to bet in. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
I mean? So if Aidan O'Brien dominates, then it's up to the rest of the trainers to try and break the dominance. As a punter, I can watch that race and bet on something else. So, and that's what we're doing. We've gone to Doncaster, stayed at Doncaster. We've gone for the handicap at 4:15. A tight looking handicap, this one, like the Chester race. Not an easy one to pick apart, but I settled on a shortlist of 2 for this 4:15 at Doncaster, and the shortlist is Parlando and Days of Our Lives. Parlando. I feel we may have matching ones this time. Parlando comes here off the back of 2 solid efforts. A close second at Newcastle last time out, and a win at Windsor last time, the time before that. Both those runs over the same distance as this, 1 mile 2. A trip I think is the optimum for Parlando. August to November looks to be his prime month. Sees 2 wins and 5 places from his 7 starts during August to November. So a definite positive there from. Also a positive on the trainer side of things. His trainer, Ian Williams, holding some solid stats in Doncaster handicaps under the following. Doncaster handicaps over 1 mile 2 to 2 mile 1, horses aged 3 to 6, and horses that start at an SP of 9 to 1 or less. Ian Williams with those types is 19 winners, 8 placed from 49 runners, 39% win strike rate, 55% win and place strike rate, over 64 points profit. Parlando meets those stats here. And Days of Our Lives is flagged up to me via a Marco Botti angle I have plugged in. Marco Botti Doncaster runners in May to October, trips of 6 furlongs to 1 mile 3, good or softer ground, and horses with at least one previous career start. Since the start of 2021, Botti is 7 winners, 4 placed from 17 runners with those types, 41% win strike rate, 65% win and place strike rate, over 68 points profit. Days of Our Lives was fits those stats, and he was last seen finishing 4th in the Royal Hunt Cup at Royal Ascot. That race favoured those drawn in the top half of the draw, and he was the only runner from the bottom half of the draw to finish in the first 6. So his 4th was definitely an effort worth marking up a few pounds on the bare form. Amazingly, he's able to run off the same mark of 97 here as he did in that Royal Hunt Cup, and he's also possibly at his best at this stage of the season. He's 3 wins, 2 places from 6 starts in the September to November period. That's all 3 of his career wins, and he looks to hold a serious chance here. Days of Our Lives. And they're the 2 I want to play in this. Days of Our Lives and a Parlando. Tony, what have you got?
I have got nothing to add to that, mate. Rathgar is the other one. Short list of 3. Rathgar's on it. Holly Doyle on board for the first time. On board. I should have to write this better than this. Holly Doyle on board in first-time cheek pieces. That's the horse, not Holly Doyle, by the way. That looks interesting. But my 2, Parlando, in good form last month, winning at Windsor and beating half length at Newcastle. Latest start, 15-2 looks an attractive price. Gelding by Dubawi, 2 from 9 on turf. Wins coming on good to soft. Over a similar trip and in a Class 2 contest. And Days of Our Lives, just 1 from 8 on turf, hitting the frame on a further 5 occasions. So I believe it can hit the frame here. 1 win in a place from 2 starts on a left-handed track, and a win in 2 places in Class 2 contest. I think he's at home in a Class 2 contest. So Days of Our Lives and Parlando for us too. We agree. We finally agree. Good stuff. All right, it's top, middle and bottom time.
Oh, golly, what a volley! The great thing about loving football is you cannot explain why you love it. It just happens. Chasing a ball round a park, wanting one team to win against the other.
El Mahoney, right foot, whips it. Oh, Jeezy Peeps, man.
Fantastic. Top, middle and bottom. Your scores on the doors, Ben, from last week, please.
Yeah, 2 winners each last week.
Yeah.
But, both of us let down by Partick Thistle, losing at home to Alloa after going 1-0 up. They get the Jeezy Peeps award for last week. Partick Thistle. Returns for us both, though, at plus 1.9 for me and plus 0.4 for you, giving current totals of me minus 14.92, Tony minus 14.83.
Oh, it's close. It's close.
Only 0.8 points between us. Back to league action this week after the Challenge Cup action last week. My top, middle and bottom this week is Race Rovers to beat Dunfermline at 13-10. Both these teams have had a poor start of the season. Race finally got a new manager in, and they gave High Flying Air a bit of a scare last week in the Cup. Went 2-0 up before losing the match 3-2. In fairness, they've only been losing by the odd goal this season. Won't take much to turn their fortunes round, and this is the perfect game to start it. They've won the last 5 meetings with their neighbours Dunfermline, and I'll take them to make it 6 wins on the spin in the Fife Derby. This is a Friday game as well, so Raith to beat Dunfermline. Middle, Annan to beat Dumbarton at 5-4. Dumbarton's defeat last week against Peterhead means it's now only 1 win in the last 11. The win coming against non-league opposition. Signs are they're going to struggle this season, so I'm going after them here, and I think Annan can see them off at home. Annan's home form will be what keeps them up this season, and they can take the scalp of dodgy Dumbarton. Bottom, the Spartans to beat Forfar at 9-10. Forfar struggling at the minute, winless in their last 8, lost 5 of them. This is a good chance for Spartans to get things back firing again. We've lost their last 2, although to be fair, last week was against Championship Livingston, and Spartans only faded out of it in the last half an hour. I think they should get the job done here against Forfar, and that gives me a top, middle, and bottom of top Wraith Rovers, middle, Annan, bottom the Spartans. Tony, what you got?
Gone for 3 homes this week, mate. A confident shout, 3 homes. Queen's Park at home to Morton, even money. Alloa at home to Inverness Cally, 11-10. Alloa at home to Inverness Cally. Elgin at home to Bonnie Rose, 5-6.
To be fair, Elgin are probably good enough at home.
Elgin, yeah, won the last 3, I believe, at home.
I think so, yeah.
I read somewhere. Queen's Park, home to Morton, Alloa at home to Inverness Cally, and Elgin at home to Bonnie Rose. Many thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Racing Podblast. Very best of luck with your bets at Doncaster and Chester. Remember what Ben says, and backed up by myself, if you don't have to bet in races with Aidan O'Brien, multiple runners. If you're up nice and early in the mornings during the week, you can catch my breakfast show, 3bsradio.com, which is over on 3bsradio.com. You can catch more from Ben over on narrowinthefield.co.uk. Big thanks for listening this week. Have a great weekend, everybody. The last of the sun, I think, this weekend. We'll see you all next week. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, Tony.